Hey everybody, my name is Aaron Schey. Welcome to Habitat Now. It is an honor to have you join me today as we talk about Glass 52, talk about some of the work we saw at the Glass Art Fair at Glass Coast Weekend, and so much more. And it is so spectacular to see all your faces. Um, we had a great time down in Sarasota, and it was great to see everybody. With Sofa no longer around, it's really the time to get together. And this, we're talking about what's happening in May here in the Royal Oak area coming up for Glass 52. It's crazy. 52 years of doing a show. That is quite a legacy. It goes to show, my predecessors' foundation continuing every year and celebrating what we know and love. So I'm going to go ahead and start taking over your screen and start going through a little bit of the slides. Very informal. If you want to interrupt me at all, just feel free. But you know how these things go. People like to Zoom and listen. So for those of you who don't know, we do these talks every Saturday. I'll talk about that in a second. Under this little button right here is a little hamburger, we call it. You can click that and sign up for every week's newsletter. If you don't get it via email, you lose the link. It's always right there, or you can email me. I'm happy to do it every Zoom, every Saturday. This is the right, let me see if this is the right talk. I might have the wrong talk up. Let me check and make sure. Oh yeah, I do have the wrong talk up. Look at that. Hold on one second, guys. It's like, this doesn't look too familiar. There's the,
Well,
there's
I
the
like
right
that
one.
image though. So
Yeah, I just pulled that image out. I was like, why is this not showing me the right PowerPoint?
well, we could just stay with this and just
There we
talk.
go. I said you replaced it with a better picture. Check this out. Here we go. Three, two. All right, get past this one. You got through that. There's a better picture. Here I am every Saturday.
Whoa!
Watch and share. That was me at the Chihuly Museum in St. Petersburg. That was a lot of fun. Do that during Glass Coast weekend. The Glass Cruise is filling up. The Glass Tour they're doing. If you haven't been on one of these, please contact me. It is a lot of fun. They have it all figured out. It's happening, I think, in September. It's on the website on the big red button. If you love glass, you should be on this boat later this year. So over to Glass 52. So we're going to go through a little housekeeping about what's going on at Glass 52, which is scheduled for May. You're all invited. I'm expecting to see all of you there. It's going to be May 1st through the 5th. The first day, which is the first, is the same thing we did last year, but it's our second annual artist gala. And it's not, the Detroit area has become so exciting with artists. And a lot of people who couldn't afford to live in New York anymore moved to Detroit and bought places or rented places. So there's so many local artists in the area. And we just invite them all, irrelevant of media, to come and celebrate the arts in Detroit. We do it at Axiom Art Facility, which is across the street. Andrew Madvin owns. It's a glass blowing facility right across the street. We have kegs and people, and it's a taco truck. It was a lot of fun last year. We're doing it again because it was a great way to start getting the community together. And with a glass blowing facility across the street, it's kind of a no-brainer. So that's the first day. But it continues on from there. We have the party. This is what year Kathy and Ferd are hosting the party on, I think it's on Friday night. Our location is 30 minutes from the airport. So if you want to come and be part of this, just sign up today. Let me pull up the itinerary since I don't have it up in front of me and kind of give you an idea of what it looks like. And if you want to see a quick link to it, it's on glass52.com. How convenient is that, huh? So on Glass 52, there's a button here that says click for a downloadable PDF for the weekend. And this will get you into the whole invitation. But I'm going to skip right to the itinerary so you can see what's going on right here and kind of run through it. So I'm going to move this off the screen too, because I kind of have slides to go with this stuff. So the show will be set up. Many of you have experienced this. We invite about 100 artists from about 30 different countries to send 2 works each. With social media today, we're able to find new and exciting talent out there to mix with artists that are already in Habitat family. So make sure you have a chance to see this because this is a great time to explore and collect new works. The turnout is always incredible. This is a picture from our event in Florida. We just got back from Sarasota. And we had people here coming to explore. This is a whole new crowd of people that came in to see us celebrate Barbara Bash at the first ever fireworks soiree. And this is a lot of their first exposure to glass and what we do beyond, what Barbara has been marketing locally in the museum. So it's great to meet new people and get them in our books. This year, we're sending you your red dots in the mail. You're going to get an invitation. It's going to have some red dots on that. You better bring them with you because you better use them. It's going to be a lot of fun. We wanted to have these giant red dots this year to let people know that exciting things are happening. We are planning our auction, which I'm trying to put together right now. And we have some incredible works by many of the artists that are in our talented family. All right, so I'm going to run through a little bit of the weekend as we talk about it. Um, so you'll have the first preview if you come for the Glass Coast or come for the VIP weekend here at Habatat. You'll see it first, which is on Thursday morning. The public opening doesn't even open until Saturday. So you're seeing the first ever view of this incredible show this year. And I believe this is the first year that Stephanie Trenchard is doing her first ever glass class. So if you're familiar with Stephanie's work, she's going to be blowing blanks, which she calls simple glass sculptures, and you're able to paint them in her style. Now, there's different technicalities of it, the different paints you can use based upon your plan for the objects. You can use a certain paint and take it home. You can use a certain paint and she can take it back and fire it. And then if you even want, she can even cast it in glass. So the cost is not cheap. It's about $300 per person for this class, but it's a hell of an experience. And I'm so excited for her taking the not the risk, but taking the opportunity to do this to bring people into her world, which I think is fun. Um, Everybody's going to be staying at the Somerset Inn Hotel, which is about less than a mile from the gallery, maybe a mile and a half. Great place. We have the auction there. We have the artist talks there. So make sure you are coming for that. And then on let's see, we're going to be going to the talks, right? We have lunch at the gallery. There's two secondary shows, which I don't have slides for. We have a show of Julian Robin Rogers is going to be doing a solo experience, kind of like what Katrina Weintraub did last year in the first room on the left. And then we also asked Robert Mickelson to create an experience in one of the galleries as well. Many of you know him. He is an artist has become a functional artist, creating some amazing sculptures out of glass. And so we're grateful to have him. And then home tours are planned, and the party at Kathy and Ferd's, which I showed you a picture of earlier, which I think is right here in the top right. And then the next day we're going off to Flint. So at Flint, they are partnering with us. It's great to have them. They have a show up there. It's called Fragile Bodies, a Figure in Glass and Clay. John Miller, who was recently featured in the New York Times, is going to be demonstrating there coming up. He's bringing his brand new baby, I think. And they're coming straight there, so you have a chance to see him. And then we partnered with Dan Collins to also show Paul Stankert's new full-blown documentary called Flower and Flame. And I've seen this presentation. It is an incredible look into Paul's life. It is definitely worth checking out. And they don't really have any distribution for this at all, so there's no real way to see these things. So I know they had one museum in New Jersey play the presentation, and as far as I know, we're the next thing going on in May, so you'll be a chance to see that. Oh, here's John Miller doing some cooking. You'll cook with John Miller, which is kind of fun at the Flint Institute of Arts. Um, we're also going to bring back the stars, so you can vote for your favorite artist in the show to be part of the award show that will be happening later at the Fort Wayne Museum of Art. So much going on, so many talented artists will be in town, and so much to see. So make sure you sign up for Glass52. The invitations are being printed now. They should be going out end of next week, so look in your mailbox. We'll be honored to have you and host you for this event. It is going to be one of the highlights of your year. All right, so let's move on now. So we're going to talk about the really 22 works I hand selected from the exhibition at Glass Coast Weekend that I think need more attention. Obviously, those of you there saw these pieces live in person, but as many of you know, not everybody can make it to the show. And luckily, I think Vivian Wang is here, but I'll talk for her unless she interrupts me. We had a beautiful presentation of her work. We had three pieces, plus we had her AI pieces that she and I created on the floor via Zoom. And she created them for the floor. So we'll have those in the gallery up soon to take some more photos of them. But we had this beautiful work called Korean Tiger that is just a stunning sculpture. We had a beautiful red piece as well. So multiple works by Vivian, but she's making probably the best work of her career. And we're honored to show her in our show. And thank her so much for being here today and for sending out these incredible works that was the first exposure for a lot of people in our show in Sarasota. As people walked around these works, they were just simply blown away with the design and the style. Each work has a story explaining what they're wearing and why. And the subtleties on the piece just really draw people in. His little hand is holding on to a leash. There's a little tiger next to this piece. I put the detail in because I wanted people to see the work up close and really see the texture of the work that goes into this. These are done with glass and stoneware and gemstones. And I own a piece of her. All my parents own a piece. My brother owns a piece. We just love Vivian's work, and we're honored to have her in this exhibition. And we'll have this piece on display probably in May if it doesn't sell, and along with the other ones. Our friend Peter Bremers is always pushing the limit of glass and makes these incredible large casts and scaled pieces. Love the blue. They're inspired by his world travels. This thing is 30, almost 32 inches tall, and it's just a showstopper. And we had another piece next to it that sold that I think was around the same height or maybe higher that was white. But you can't have a show without Peter's work because he's such a important and he's a great guy. If you had a chance to meet him and talk with Peter about him and his work, he's just such one of the best. And if you know him, you know what I'm talking about. Um, he has a few books that you should check out if you haven't really seen his work in person, because he's inspired by, his travels to the Antarctic and to experience glaciers, as well as in the deserts and the sand and the warmth and a few other bodies of work. So it's always an honor to show Peter's work. And he was there down in Sarasota, making sure to meet people and talk about what he does and what we love. Elliot Walker, for those of you who don't know, and you probably do, he was the second winner of, or the winner of the season 2 of Blown Away. And Ferdinand has become quite smitten with the work of Elliot. He is just very impressed and has been writing a few papers and portfolios about the artist's work because he's so impressed with him and his work and his style. And it is quite amazing to see what he's achieved at his young age. And they are just impressive works. They're very literal. Sometimes they can be taken as a little morbid, but they reflect on the styles of paintings from my memory, from a certain style. So overall, this is the work of the future, and we have to pay attention to artists like this that are really pushing the medium. Just so you know, all the pieces are separate. They transport all separate and then kind of assembled together for final display. And we have a few pieces in the gallery as well that will be up soon. And so we're just honored to share Elliot's with the future, and we might be working with him more and more, especially because Ferd is really, really, really loving the work. Our friend Wilfred Grutens came in from Germany for the event in Florida, and man, did he bring some beautiful pieces. I've never seen a piece like this by our friend Wilfred. It's a whole new style. It looks like an exploding galaxy or a moon hitting a star. Who knows? But if as you explore this piece and walk around, people in Sarasota were so impressed by the visuals as you slowly move around each piece, and the work kind of disappears because every panel, you can see the lines in the glass. Every panel slowly disappears because every panel is painted and then glued together. And this is like wow factor. It's very beautiful glass. It brings you into a kind of idea of this is space or maybe life in a cellular level. But every work he did was just spectacular, and we did sell some of his pieces. So this is the first one I've seen of this style, and man, other than the fact it is quite heavy, it is quite beautiful, and we'll continue to show him and his work. Blowing through these. Our friend Krista's here. Krista, why don't you unmute yourself and say a little bit about this piece, Pink Noise 1, if you don't mind. I'll click on unmute.
Unmute. Oh, okay. Yeah, I made these pieces about the pink noise, like really the noise that is like a frequency that I'd say that calms the brain. So when I'm working, I have my headphones on, and I listen to this noise, and really makes me help focus. So this is what inspired these pieces. Um, so let's say the glass fur, I make it on the torch. So it's every little part that is handmade and assembled to these found objects. Um, I really love I'd say the glass fur. It's for me, it's a reminder of I'd say, it's a fur toy I had as a kid. So this feeling of, I'd say, what's well-being, that is what the glass fur says for me personally. So this is like a red line through all my works. And I made 3 of these, and one was sold in the Glass Coast weekend. So I was really excited about that. Yeah.
That's great, Krista. Thank you for sharing. These
Yeah.
really lit up the room. And Michael was telling us that people always had to take a double take as they were seeing these pieces on the floor. And we're honored to
Thank
show you for the first time in real life down at Glass Coast Weekend in the Glass Art Fair. And it was great to feel and see these works in person. And Krista said she's going to send us a sample texture so people can actually touch the work without touching the work, which I think is a good idea. Thank you so
Well,
much, Krista. I appreciate that.
thank you so much.
Just so you know, you're joining me on my birthday weekend, everybody. So thank you for being here. It's a lot of fun to get together and see everybody's faces as I get older. Our friend Michael Janis, would you unmute yourself and tell us a little bit about this piece?
Well, first of all, I'm going to say happy birthday, Aaron. I know it's on Monday, President's Day, but thanks for being here. I do a lot of work with portraiture and creating imagery that suggests figures, and I'm doing all the drawing part out of crushed glass. So I'm using the frit powders to create the figure, and I've been really exploring more towards abstraction, and that allowed me to start using different media, such as video components in these works. And I like the idea that you're almost like seeing into the essence of that person, almost like their spiritual quality within that piece, that's what illuminates them from within. So the light is coming from within the piece. And as it was displayed in Sarasota, you didn't have any light sources aimed at it. And you know how glass just loves light. This is one that brought the light to the space. So I just really think that it gives me a new take on how these works are. You have something that kind of draws you in by these always flowing videos. This is a short clip that is in the video playing that Aaron's showing, but it always is looping through. So it's always in motion and it's always just softly moving. And the other ones also give a kind of different feel in the video components where they had a little bit more of a collage effect, a little bit more of a pop feel to it. And that's also something I like exploring and how glass art fits into the mainstream of the art world. And I was just excited to see them. I had not seen them all together until Sarasota. So I'm looking forward to the new pieces I'm working on, as well as these pieces and making a whole series for the Glass52, which is, I think Aaron was not born yet when it started, I guess.
No, I'm still not born yet. So that's great, Michael. Yeah, I definitely want to mention that these videos are continuous. They don't start and stop like this, but they really drew attention at the show, and we did have some sales with them. So it's great to see the medium of glass continuing into the future. And thank you, Michael, for being here today. All right, our friend Peter Botas, he is making some incredible work, and these are really, really popular with a lot of our clients. The geometry needed to make these just blows my mind. Every single piece is carved and polished to create these uh, geometric shapes, and the color in them is just stunning and beautiful. And they're almost like perfect. They're almost perfect glass, and I just love people experiencing these because they have that feeling where you're expecting to see glass at a glass gallery, but you're not expecting to see glass on a whole new level where the work just seems like it was made by nature in the perfect form. And Peter plays with colors. Some of these are clear, some of them have subtle tones to them, but they're all freestanding. And there's a 360 video of this piece right now on habatat.com as we changed our banner right now to a video and we're figuring out what to put there. I need to put something. So I put this piece there for now, and you can check it out in 360. And we're honored to include Peter in the show down in Florida. He had 3 pieces. One of them was this piece, one of them was green. I think another one was a big multicolored piece. Beautiful work. Oh, looks Krista just showed up again. You didn't see that, did you, Krista Israel? I want to show another piece of your work. We had these fun little creatures on display in Sarasota, and they just were lighting up the world. Regina helped me put this PowerPoint together, and she also snuck another piece of yours in there, so I just wanted to show it off. And these also hang from the ceiling, I think, right, Krista? Is that what happens with these things? So she said, yeah, so good to hear.
They can do, I would say they can be presented in both ways. I made an installation at the beginning of this year, and I had 9 of them hanging from the ceiling, and it was such a beautiful sight when I went into the museum and saw it, for the first time over there. But they can also be, how to say, presented on how you call it, a plinth?
Pedestal or plinth, yeah,
A
for
pedestal
sure.
or a plinth, and
Yeah.
it's like really like especially when you put them together, they're like really having fun and laughing on the on the floor. So they're very I'd say, is it versatile that you
Yeah,
can really play
versatile,
with
right?
them?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're like little
yeah,
they're like little teddy bears. You can put them almost anywhere. They'll keep you company.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
exactly.
great. It's
Yeah,
just fun. We just did an NGG talk in December with Krista talking about this body of work in the past. So if you want to learn more, scroll to YouTube and type in Habitat now and look for Krista Israel. Thank you,
yeah.
Krista, for continuing.
Thank you so much.
Latchazar, I saw you were on this talk. Would you join me for a second and unmute yourself? If you're still here, there you are, my friend. I'll ask you to unmute. Maybe we'll try that again. There you
Yeah,
go.
hi.
Thank you for joining me today. You had some beautiful works in Florida. You had a great presentation. Honored to have you here today. Tell us a little bit about this piece.
Well, this is some of this is my newest actually sculpture, and it's a brand new work that I decided to change because usually my one of the surfaces in my work is usually flat, so it is like a window that you could look through. That is like a three-dimensional drawing, but this time I did wanted to bring this. Actually, you cannot see it from the photo because it's shot straight forward. But this surface actually is changing and it's moving towards the viewer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really different take on my work, and it's a new direction that I want to explore more. This is the smaller version, like 19 inches, but I want to go really big in that one, probably about 40 inches or so. So
That's great. Thank you, Latchazar. He had a beautiful presentation of 4 or 5 pieces up at the space in Florida. It was well received, and I'm glad to hear you're onto a new body of work, exploring the texture
yeah,
and depths. These are beautiful, beautiful, my friend. Thank you.
thank you for the nice display. That was really good. Well done from your part.
Thank you.
Appreciate
It
it.
was totally not me. It was Corey and Rob, but I'll give them full credit.
I know it's the gallery, not you personally,
Not me at
but the
all. If I did
gallery.
it would be bad. So thank the Lord for that. But uh,
Yeah,
yeah, it was beautiful. It was great seeing you and your wife down there. It was a lot of
all
fun.
right. It was fun. Thanks.
Thank you. So Eakin Diaz and Eakin and Jot Davids, they couldn't make it down to Florida this year. I apologize for the quality of this photo. They had some beautiful treasures down there of their new bodies of work that are blown and carved. So we'll put more of their work on our website if you want to see it and check it out because they're making some incredible pieces and they're still priced really well. Stephanie Trenchard, who I mentioned earlier, is going to be doing the glass class down in Florida. She had I think about 6 pieces in the show, along with her individual figures. And every piece has a story. It's usually about someone usually a woman who's important to the world or influenced her life. And each piece is just stunning. And they light up really well because the light reflects the whole entire piece. And her process is where she blows the pieces and paints them and then casts them inside cast them inside of shapes that have color already. And she's just incredible, and we're honored to be working with her. And I hope you consider taking her class at the Glass52. Here's a fun one. This is our friend Tolan Sand. He was at the show with his wife. It was great seeing him in person. He's doing some incredible things, and he's also making some work that is definitely the finest of his career. These OLED sculptures are just wonderful. We've been selling a lot of them really well. They're all cold work, so they're cut, polished, and laminated over and over again to create these incredible objects. And Tolan's been doing this for a long time, and a lot of people, compare his work to John Kuhn or to maybe Jack Storm, but Tolan Sand's really on top of his game, and I consider him really an impressive artist. And if you haven't seen any of his work in person or collected it, this is the time because it's just incredible things he's coming up with, and he's a great guy. He's a great guy who makes beautiful work. I think it's gonna. Let's kick out of it. Cute little video. Boop, boop. All right. And then Deanna Clayton, she was down there for the Glass Coast Weekend. She did her glass class that she does as well, where she creates, you create your own pate verre bowl that she takes away and uh, casts for you and sends it back. But we had about 4 or 5 of these figures down in Florida, and they all sold out. She is finally hit a stride here with these figurative sculptures she's been working on for a long time. and she actually got a couple commissions too. So we're grateful that after a while of doing these female forms, that have become quite popular. And the body is done with a pate verre process, and the heads are cast, and she adds these beautiful head wrappings to them that are done usually in I think they're just dipped like a material dipped in some kind of gold or some kind of foil, but I could be wrong on that. But they are just incredible, and she actually sometimes puts a pop light inside of them to make them have a little eminence of glowing. So yeah, we're grateful to have her in the show, and I'm very happy for her selling out of these these figurines, figure style. Our friend Michael Barron said it. We had about, I think, 7 of his pieces on display at the show in Sarasota. And man, he's really making some incredible tone, incredible works. Inspired by his world travels, inspired by when he used to scuba dive. He doesn't do that much anymore. He's a brand new daughter, so his life is busy with work and baby. And I know just what that's like. And this is a wider piece that's 20 inches wide and two-part, which I really enjoy when they kind of fit together and have this overall presence. But he's making some of the best work of his career as well. And he just had a show, I think, in Germany recently. It was last year. So if you don't own a piece of Michael's work, something to definitely consider. Our friend Eric Hilton, I've had a hiatus from him for a while, and we were so grateful to bring him back in to the Glass Coast Weekend for the optical illusion show we had. And we had, I think, maybe five or six pieces of his work. He's been creating these little incredible orbs that are carved and have these incredible interiors. And this work, Alien Seed, was one of his most impressive. It has the style you recognize from Eric, which is the carved and etched glass, along with one of these beautiful new styled orbs that he carves. And man, they really drew people in because you have these incredible optics of reflection underneath the piece, as well as the depths inside these orbs. And we're grateful to be working with Eric again and sharing his work with the world. Let's see what's next. Oh yeah, our friend John Kiley did a really great demo during the Glass Coast Weekend at the Ringling College of Art and Design's hot glass blowing facility. And man, he is quite a tactician. He took two, cylinders and blew them together, and it showed us how he really works and the skill and difficulty. He was really impressive at creating this sculpture in front of us. It looked like he was making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It was so easy, but his works are just beautiful. They're very, very impressive. They have a lot of technical difficulty to them. And we had one that was really, really big in the show and one that was medium, and both of them were very impressive examples of his work. And we're looking forward to working more with John in the future. Apologize for the photo quality. This is a work by Monat Larson. See if I can find one while I have a better photo on my computer somewhere. Regina warned me that some of the photos might be a little low, but I know they'd be this low. Give me 1 second, everybody, to find a better photo. Oh. And show you something by Monat. Well, it would help if I were to plug my hard drive in today. Aaron, wake up and go in. Get some water out of the way. All right, so you can see this is a two-part piece, and she's brand new. Ferd and Kathy kind of discovered her work for us while they were on one of our glass tour trips, and we sold like 3 or 4 of them, and we decided to bring some into the gallery because they were so impressive. So let me see if I can find a better photo. Let me see if I have anything on my computer. Let me see if I can find this exact piece. Give me 1 second, guys. I apologize for the delay. And it looks like I can't find. I see what's happening now. She didn't send us photos. She sent us a PDF. Gotta write her and be like, hey, send us some photos of your work. I'm gonna take this snippet out and bring it over. Come here, snippet. Here's a little better one of a different piece. Whoa, come back. There it goes. They're incredible. There's texture on the inside and on the outside is different. You have like a real life organic, I guess for lack of a better term, flower-like sculpture. And as you touch the inside, it feels smooth, kind of like a flower would, and the outside has a rough texture to it, and they are completely abstract in design and color. And we're super excited about her work. We know this is like the first exposure, which is the Glass Art Fair and Glass Coast Weekend down in Florida. But we know her work's going to be insanely popular as time goes by, and we're grateful to have her in that exhibition and including her in our future shows. Our friend Hannah Gibson was there. She brought her son. Now, if you know Hannah, she's pretty tall. Her son is 6'7", and I had a chance to meet him as well at the show. And she takes recycled
Yeah.
glass. She takes all kinds of materials around and creates sculpture. So with the actual
What?
piece, it's so much fun. Who's
What
talking? I
about it?
can't seem to mute you or find you. Give me 1 second to find out who's talking, guys. I don't know. There we go. Someone else muted him. Good. But she was great to see her at the show. She had a great collection of pieces, and I think we had 1 or 2 sales from her work there. And if you haven't seen her work before, they're very, very fun. They reflect the Lego style of glass, but she's just an incredible artist. And it's interesting because a lot of our clients who collect her work just can't collect just one. They always collect like 2 or 3 and kind of put a set together. And it's kind of interesting because Hannah often sells them in sets of 2 with small and big next to each other. She must be reading that from the room over the years, but grateful to have her there and grateful to have her down in Glass Coast Weekend. So something new and exciting, our friend Balthazar Lucasi. And for those of you who don't know Balthazar, he is the son of Lazo Lucasi. He's like 25 years old. He's been working with his dad his whole life. And he had 2 pieces at our show. Both of them priced somewhere between like $12,000 to $14,000, and both of them sold. And he was there. He was ecstatic to have sales in America for the first time and showing his work in person. And at that age, at this level of talent, sky's the limit. And giving you guys a quick preview, this is a piece that we're going to have at Glass52. I just got the photo yesterday and wanted to include it in the show. No one has seen it before. And it is a spectacular work by Balthazar, whose work is similar to his father's in appearance, but totally different in shape and form. And this work is very laborious, and I'm grateful he's sending this piece early, and hopefully we'll have some more for the show. Our friend Alex Bernstein, always popular at these shows, one of the hardest guys working in the business, creating these cut and carved pieces that are just really blowing up. If you follow him on social media, he's always putting up incredible videos of himself doing fun stuff with glass. And we sold a couple of his pieces at the show, and we're grateful to have him down in Florida. Always consistent, always making great, beautiful sculptures that draw people in. And what's funny about this body of work is we were talking originally about doing a Habatat Limited years ago, and he came up with an idea to do a piece similar to this. And when he did it, it would cost too much to do. So it was no longer a limited, it was a sculpture, and that really created the birth of this work. So I don't take full credit, but I take a little credit. Christina Bothwell, her work is very moving and powerful. My mother just bought a piece of her work for her private collection. You'll have a chance to see at their house during the the Glass52 party we're having in May. It is a beautiful work that she recently acquired. And so it's fun to see what Christina's making. Her work is about the home and about the family and about dreams. And her work was really well received down in Florida. You have to understand that her work isn't so much beautiful as it is meaningful. So hopefully when you see her work, you'll feel something, which is the point between art and fine art. I want you to feel something when you look at the work we have in the gallery. Philip Baldwin and Monica Gugelsberg had a solo show down in Sarasota, and it was an incredible experience. If you haven't done the walkthrough in Sarasota, it's on YouTube. You can click on Habitat now, and it's one of the videos. You can walk through it with or without audio, I believe. And they had a great presentation in the front of the space as soon as you walked in. And Philip gave a talk that was top 10. Larry Seabrook said it was one of the best talks he's ever experienced in his entire life. And he was a past president of the ACG Collectors Group. And I have the whole thing on video. And Regina has spent the last 2 days editing the video, trying to make it see the video with the dialogue and the slides. So you'll hopefully be up soon. But it was great to have him in the show. First time meeting him in person, and the works were just incredible. So this was obviously a museum quality piece. I think this thing is like 48 inches wide. I don't know, the dimensions aren't there, but each piece is handmade and blown into these beautiful boats. And he talked about this series and about these works. So it was incredible to have him. So that wraps up my little presentation for today. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And if anybody has any questions about any of the Glass Coast weekend or about, anything else happening in the world, let me know with concerning glass, because it's great to be able to share what's going on with everybody in the world and what's going on next. We're looking forward to seeing everybody down back in Detroit in May, and we're looking forward to bringing all the artists in. It's always great to get together, and you're always welcome to come join us and May 1st through 5th. So thank you all for joining me. Peter, good to see you. I'm glad you could make it, my friend. I was just talking you up a minute ago. It's a lot of fun to see everybody's faces and have you join me this weekend. These Habitat Zooms will continue. If you care to join me, we'll be every Saturday. And we love what we do. Thank you, guys. Have a great weekend.
I was
See you
afraid
soon.
I was going to be a little late.
Just a touch.
Sorry
Don't
about that.
worry about that.